I performed that ritual countless times, and it never exploded in my face before. If I discover that you sabotaged the divination... No. I shouldn't take my failure out on you. It's not your fault that things are... difficult. How do you know about... Lord Vivec told you? Of course he did. It's his prerogative, I suppose. You must swear to keep this secret, though. There would be panic in the streets if the people believed one of the tribunal was incapacitated. It's true. I'm much better at scholarly pursuits than field work. And the ritual wasn't a total failure. It confirmed 3 locations from my earlier studies. Balmora, Aldrin, and Barrelzar's tower. I need you to investigate each of these sites. I researched what I could using the resources available here in Vivec City. To learn more, I need an agent to personally assess each location. Lord Vivec thinks you're the best one for that job. I hope he's right. I believe the mage seen in the ritual is Barrelzar, who works out of an ancient Velothi tower. His experiments radiate energy similar to Vivec's affliction, but they're not a perfect match. Find out what he knows about the transfer of divine energy. House Redoran controls the town and nearby mines. House Halalu also has interests in the region. Rumors of a cult in the area concern me the most. I believe we saw a cultist during the ritual. Make discreet inquiries, and see what you can learn. I have no idea. That's why we're sending you. I suggest you start at the inn. Secrets get spilled along with the drinks in such places. The miners may know something as well. I've heard that House Redoran has issued some kind of proclamation. Savage Ashlanders, like the one seen in the vision, use the area as a tribal meeting ground. These nomadic heretics deny the divinity of the tribunal and have no love for Vivec. But how they could be involved eludes me. See what you can uncover. I traced tendrils of Vivec's energy to these locations, and the ritual confirmed the connection before it went awry. Just don't discuss Lord Vivec's condition with anyone. We don't want to start a panic. If anything changes here, I'll contact you.
Another adventurer looking for work? Did you? Well, that's why it was posted. It's simple. Citizens tell us what they need, and we arrange for the job to be completed. You will be able to meet with the client before starting the task. They'll also have your reward, not us. Belleru Omeril and her brother Traylan will handle your assignments. Check in with them frequently to see if they have a job for you. They'll inform you what you need to accomplish and who made the request. Belleru's requests may appear straightforward, but many adventurers find them difficult to accomplish. The assortment of enemies she'll ask you to face are all powerful, and I would recommend gathering allies before heading out. Traylan handles requests which the temple has special interests in. His tasks require more subtlety, but they are by no means easy. Make sure to listen to his explanations carefully. It's also a good idea to speak to the clients beforehand. I would hope. You came to us, after all. Traylan and Belleru are just down the hall. They should already have assignments for you. Speak to either of them to get started.
Citizens hand in their request, I tell you what I know, and you take care of it. The person with the problem is usually more than willing to talk your ear off about it. The more people you can convince to help you with the job, the better. Dinor Salvi is having trouble over at the Messir Dadalit egg mine. Seems they had a recent influx of Kwama coming in, and now there's far too many for the miners to handle. I heard there's a particularly nasty Kwama warrior nestled up with the Queen. You just need to help reset the balance. Head to the mine and kill as many Kwama as you can. Don't forget to off the Queen's new sweetheart as well. Salvi's in Vivec City if you have any other questions. Talk to him about payment when you're done.
Current events have left the temple in need of additional resources. The requests I handle are citizens whose interests best align with the goals of the temple. You'll work with these individuals to help better Vvardenfell. Are you interested? We believe the Kamona Tong are smuggling slaves in a cavern called Kartag Point. If true, we have the opportunity to prevent them from gaining a foothold in the region. However, the temple must have confirmation before we can act. Search the Kamona Tong campsite in Kartag Point and eliminate their commander. This should slow their progress. Vorar Vendu has brought this issue to our attention. He's in Viveca City if you need more information. He'll also have your reward.
This is bad. You look well-traveled, friend. Are you, by chance, going to Mora? I can make it worth your while. Opportunity. Or that's what I thought, until I angered de Vavafair by failing to deliver the special mushrooms he ordered on time. Lost the shipment. Now I'm in a bind. I have the mushrooms, but I'm afraid Fair will evaporate me for late delivery. You aren't at fault for the late delivery, so Fair shouldn't do anything to you. Won't do anything to you, I mean. I guarantee it. Besides, I'll let you keep the payment he owes me as well. I'd rather avoid the situation altogether at this point. You're saving my life here, friend. I don't dare refuse the order, but I also don't want to meet a displeased Telvanni. For someone who's helping me out this much, you can ask as many as you like. Mora is up on the eastern coast, so you could walk, but I wouldn't recommend it. Talk to Cinda, our local navigator. She can sail you up there on her next trip. That's how I was going to get there until I missed my delivery time. The Telvanni aren't like you and I, friend. They're powerful and quick to anger and have no qualms about harming those who displease them. No clue. If a Telvanni mage wants them, I can only suppose they have magical properties. You won't see me putting them in any of my stews, that's for damn sure.
Are you here about our little pest problem? Let's keep our voices down, shall we? No need for the whole city to know. I need you to head to the mine as soon as possible and take care of this mess. Just start killing any Kwami you see, particularly the big brute protecting the queen. It didn't seem like a bad idea at the time. What good is a queen without a colony? We sprayed just a smidge of pheromones here and there and Kwama started rushing in. The issue was getting them to stop. We're still working through that one. We had a rather nasty string of Kwama warriors begin to fight over the Queen's affections. Took us all by surprise when they started seeing the miners as challengers. Sadly, our standard procedures didn't cover a passion-driven battle to the death. The miners said he's the biggest Kwama they've ever seen, and certainly the nastiest. He's the cause of more worker deaths than the rest of the colony combined. If we're to salvage this situation, he simply cannot remain.
You're our hired infiltrator. I suppose you'll have to do. It's good you decided to talk. The Kamona Tong aren't a group you want to tussle with before gathering your information. What do storied Covenant heroes and Kamona Tong cronies have in common? Apparently the region's illegal slave trade. The seaside cavern Kartag Point is drowning in rumors as of late, and I need to figure out what's fact and what's fiction. Well, just one we know of. The Orc commander Kartag. We've learned that he and his raiders are somehow involved in slave smuggling. In what way? We're not exactly sure, but he seems to have caught the attention of the Kamana Tong. The Kamana Tong are slavers, murderers, extortionists, everything a vile crime syndicate can be. They don't like outlanders, especially ones who cut into their profits. Tread lightly in Kartag Point. It's crawling with their cronies. I once ran with a Kamana Tong. I wised up and got out, but not before seeing what kind of scum they truly are. When my business partners came to me with this issue, I said I'd take care of it. I'm more than happy to take the fetchers down a peg.
You there, Outlander. I have a proposition for you.
So I was right.
you're a sword for hire. Excellent. My name is Marlo Rethan of House Hlalu, and I have a proposition for you. I need someone to investigate what's going on in the ZBŁDNEGO ebony mine. Piqued your interest, have I? Capital. My brother Benar and I share ownership of the mine, but I suspect he's hiding something from me. The little weasels even locked down the entrance. Only his personal guards are allowed inside. There are only 2 keys to the mine. Benar keeps one in our manor house. The other is carried by the mine's foreman, Nox. I want you to procure a key, either one, and then search the mine for any sign of mischief. Report back with your findings. Foreman Nox is somewhere in Balmora. It should be simple enough to pluck the key from his pockets. Or, if you prefer burglary, you could take my brother's key from the desk in his study. Our manor is just up the hill to the west of town. My dear brother prefers to keep our roles in the business separate. He runs the mine while I handle the finances. He doesn't interfere with my work, nor I his. That's the agreement. Oh, I have, but Benner tells me nothing. It's just secure more buyers and hire more workers. He gets dreadfully annoyed when I press him about my concerns. Like, why do we need so many miners? Even the townsfolk are starting to talk about that. You haven't heard the rumors? The cursed mine of ZBŁDNEGO, they call it. They go in, but they don't come out. Now, just inane ghost stories, truth be told. But if the rumors persist, it could soil our reputation. Well, the mine has underperformed for years. I'd actually considered selling it. Until recently, that is. Ebony has been pouring out of the mine these past few months. And normally, I'd be overjoyed, but that's also when Benner became distant. Anything out of the ordinary. I don't suppose you'd know the difference between pure ebony and... Never mind. Just give the mine a good look and keep an eye out for mischief. If you find anything odd, bring it back with you. I have many important clients that depend on the success of this mine. They'll hold me personally responsible if anything isn't correct. I'd like to avoid that kind of unpleasantness. Well, the key should be no trouble. My brother is away at the moment, and the house guards are not exactly the keenest. If you choose to pickpocket the foreman, well, just avoid the city watch, I suppose. That's the rub. The mine is well guarded. My brother insisted that I hire only the rowdiest and most ill-tempered mercenaries, so I brought on the Iron Hound Company. I can vouch for their pugnacity. I'd prefer to avoid bloodshed, of course, but I don't want to tip my brother off. If he is up to something, I'll need deniability to maintain the element of surprise. Besides, they're mostly criminals, drunks, and skooma addicts. Expendable, yes?
I can't believe you look like the traveling sort. In your excursions, have you perchance come upon a young dark elf named Vea? She went missing a couple of weeks ago and her father desperately seeks any information regarding her whereabouts. That's a shame. Her father, Eris, the house counselor here in Balmora, promises that anyone who can find his daughter and return her safely to his side will be well rewarded. You should speak to Counselor Eris. He's opened the kin house to interview potential recruits. Freelancers, as it were. If you're interested, go speak to the counselor. The longer Vea remains missing, the more distressed Counselor Eris becomes. Counselor Eris can be found at the Redoran kin house, and do hurry. He's ever so troubled by our failure to locate young Vea. If he finds that an outsider can succeed where the house guard has failed, so be it. I have no issue with Counselor Eris seeking help. It's where he's decided to get that help that concerns me. House Redoran doesn't need outsiders to take care of its business. But who am I to question a house counselor? How can anyone not know about House Redoran? Is this some sort of outlander ruse? Well, in that case, Redoran is the grandest of the great Dunmer houses. We champion the virtues of duty and piety, and we have a proud military tradition. Our house comes first in all things. I don't understand why Eris seeks outside help. If I knew what happened to the Councillor's daughter, I wouldn't be talking to you now, would I? As far as we can tell, she left of her own accord. There wasn't any foul play involved that we're aware of. Beyond that, you'd have to ask the Councillor. Fair. How can it? Well, Councillor Eris Relith oversees Redoran operations in Balmora and the surrounding countryside. He's very influential, very powerful. Usually, the Councillor doesn't allow his passions to get the better of him. But Vea is his daughter, after all.
I love seeing new faces. For a while, it was just the same old miners and the occasional traveling merchant. Thought Carolyn might have to shut this place down. Look at me talking your ears off. What can I get you? At first, I assumed it was the usual house squabbles. Redoran and Hlalu arguments can get pretty heated. Then I thought maybe the Ashlanders were scaring people off. But after that proclamation... No, I'd rather not talk about that with a stranger. I'm sure you do, but I have to live here, you know? Look, there's nothing I can tell you. If the houses ever found out I told an outlander about our troubles, maybe one of the miners would be more willing to talk to you. I like the color of your gold, Outlander. Just between us, I heard the House Guard shut down the Shulk ore mine. Something to do with violent cultists who attacked the miners and took over the place. Even got the crew chief, or so I heard.
Take care of yourself, Father. You always were good at it.
Perhaps you can aid me. Are you looking for work? I'm in need of a strong set of legs, traveler. And you look like one capable of protecting yourself. Will you aid an old Mer in one last task? I have an obligation to my family. No, a duty of utmost importance. But I have grown too feeble to fulfill it. If you would take this memory stone to the few places of significance in my life, I will pay you well. It allows one to archive memories for future generations. I hope to do this for my children, who have grown estranged. Invoke my stone at the locations I've marked on your map, and the memories I wish to archive will manifest. I thank you for your aid. Fewer than ever are willing to aid their elders in these troubled times. Now I suppose the distance with my children is my fault, not theirs. It is a rare gem. Once, long ago, Redguard warriors carried them into battle. One of the most famous was a sword singer in the First Age, Makeleleki. No historians will cherish my thoughts, certainly. But perhaps my children will come to in time. I purchased it from my master, Drennan, a Telvanni mage of middling repute. I have served him for... how long? Many, many years. For as long as I can remember. I will serve him until I die, no doubt. But that will not be long now. Ah, yes. Mills. My son has never really forgiven me for never being here for them. He's a stranger in my own home. No. If anything, it's the other way around. Even Naria has grown accustomed to my absence. Naria less than Mills. But both my children grew up largely on their own. My duties to Master Drennan consumed a great deal of my time. Mills especially grew up with Naria and no one else. He despises me, and I don't blame him. You'll know soon enough, as will they, I hope. I failed them as a father, but they are safe, aren't they? I kept them safe. I cannot travel with you, But I have attuned this stone to my soul. When you use it at the locations I've marked, it will summon echoes of things that once occurred there. The stone absorbs these echoes, allowing others to view them.
Do you make a habit of randomly accosting people while they fish? I don't see how that's any of your business. I've nothing to say to my father or those his Telvanni master employs. Whatever this is about, it's no concern of mine. My father managed to leave me out of his life. He can leave me out of his problems, too. You want to talk? My sister Neria works the stables. She tolerates my father's business better than I do.
My, you look like a well-traveled individual. If you're looking to give your mount a well-deserved rest, you've come to the right place. We know how to pamper a loyal guar in Balmora. My father? Oh no, has he taken a fall? Or did he ask you to do something for him? He's been declining of late, and I'm afraid he's not entirely in his right mind. Oh, Mills. He was so young when Mother passed. I've tried to explain that Father had to work to keep a roof over our heads, but it's been difficult. I raised Mills myself while Father was away, which was often. He's never forgiven Father for that. Oh, yes. Father is well regarded among the Telvanni masters, even though he's never aspired to be one himself. Master Drenim trusts him implicitly, and if you know anything about the Telvanni, that's impressive on its own. They don't trust easily. I'm afraid I don't know. All he's been able to tell me is that part of his contract with Master Drenim forbids him from disclosing any of the Master's business, even to his own children. Whatever he's doing, I'm certain it's important. I wish he didn't have to work so much. Master Drenim pays well, but sometimes I worry he will work Father to death. He's just so tired all the time. Even when he finds time away, Mills refuses to see him, and I know that hurts him dearly. I did for a bit, after Mother died. I didn't understand why Father couldn't be with us until I grew up and learned how hard it is to keep a family housed and fed. Now I appreciate all Father's sacrifices for us. I just wish Mills could see it.
How could I be so clumsy?
Yes? Is there something I can do for you, Outlander? My daughter has been gone too long, and the house guard can't seem to find a wall in the corner. But why should I trust you with this task? Tell me, Outlander, how can you succeed when my forces continue to fail time and time again? An interesting insight. Perhaps you can find my daughter. Vea can handle herself, but the father worries, you understand? Anyway, I agree with your assessment. That's why I'm willing to bring in outside help on this. Vea fled after a family disagreement. She's run away before, but I'm concerned that she might have something more permanent in mind this time, and more dangerous. Vea knows how to evade the house guard, but as you said, she doesn't know you. Captain Briven oversees the house's attempt to locate my daughter. You should speak to him and see what his investigation has already turned up. He's probably patrolling the town square at this time of day. Briven's soldiers have been trying to get information out of Vea's friends, but those young men and women are almost as good at avoiding the house guard as my daughter. That is a private matter. If your investigation proves fruitful, and such matters become relevant, we can discuss the particulars then, but not before. Like my daughter, my wife has a mind of her own. What the two of you discuss is your own affair. Just understand that I haven't employed you to solve my family's problems. I only need you to find my daughter. Vea's always been fascinated by the Morag Tong. Even admired one of their agents when she was growing up. It's possible she sought refuge with this agent, or even decided to join the organization. Though I hope I'm wrong about that. The Morag Tong? They're an ancient guild of assassins sanctioned by the tribunal to carry out honorable writs of execution. Ostensibly, they're supposed to keep the houses from resorting to all-out war. But I still find the practice barbaric. Someone of no consequence, and not at all important to accomplishing your mission. Besides, you don't find Morag Tong agents, they find you. Just pray it's not because your name wound up on one of their writs. That is a death sentence.
Not now, Outlander. If you need some sort of assistance, go find one of the House Guard. You must be one of the freelancers the Council employed to supplement the duties of the House Guard. Very well. I'll tell you what I know. Vea ran away. Again. I hope you can succeed when my troops have failed. If anything happens to Vea... I've known the Relith family since I was a child. Vea is like a sister to me, and I'll do everything in my power to get her home safe and sound. Even trust an Outlander. We think her friends may know where she is, but they keep eluding us. Perhaps. As long as you don't get too close. They've been running notes of late. I think it has something to do with Vea, but the runners keep evading my guards. Look for a group meeting on the other side of town, and see if you can follow the note. When you find Vea's friends, remember to keep your distance. You just want to spot the note carrier and follow him to whoever's receiving these messages. That's the key to locating Vea. If you can't do it, don't worry. The house can handle it. Vea's a born warrior. Hard-headed, stubborn, a real pain in the ass. She can fight like an angry netch, though. I keep trying to get her to join the militia, and she always turns me down. That's not my tale to tell. If Kanclerza Erisa or his wife won't speak of the troubles his family has had to deal with in recent weeks, maybe you can ask Vea, if and when you find her. We started to notice groups of young dark elves gathering in out-of-the-way parts of the city. One of my guards saw them pass a note between them, but they split up and she lost them in the back alleys. Could be a love poem or a recipe for Kwama cream cocktail. But we suspect it's the way Vea has been keeping tabs on what's been happening in the city. Look, it may amount to nothing, but the note could give us a lead on where to find Vea.
Get this letter to Trevis. It's important. Just don't let House Weatherin get their hands on it. If you think you're being followed, find a place to hide. Good luck.
Is this on straight?
Well done. This should help us determine what happened to Vea's brother. Hello, can I help you? Wait a moment. You're one of those hirelings House Redren pays to harass us simple folk. Look, all Vea wants to do is to find out what happened to her brother. Too bad the house doesn't seem to care a swit about any of that. Vea wants nothing to do with the house or her father. Why can't any of you respect that? Even if I wanted to help, I haven't seen Vea since she snuck out of town. We communicate by notes, and this one isn't even about her. Well, if you must know, it concerns Vea's brother. He was an officer in the House Guard before he vanished without a trace. We've been trying to help Vea find him. A local tough, goes by the name of Ashur. He delivers the letters. We usually meet him outside of town to the northeast. But good luck trying to get any information out of him. Ashur is not known for his conversational skills. I think we're done here, don't you? I told you where to find Ashur. He's been passing our notes on to Vea. Just to the north and east, outside of town. Or is this your way of offering to save me a trip, since you're headed his way? Balmora's not that big. Most of the sons and daughters of the house leaders and prominent merchants know each other. Vea's one of us, and we'll do whatever it takes to help her find her brother. Well, within reason. And Vea would do the same for us. That's why we're helping her. She really is a terrific person. I'm not telling you anything, you Redren lapdog.
You killed one of my gang, Swit. No rip. That's it. Kill the Morag Tong and any witnesses.
I'll just take my leave. No use getting my hands dirty again.
I need healing!
I had that situation under control. Just needed them to make the first hostile move. Still, I cleaned enough blood off my axes for one day, so thanks for lending a hand. You were you? Was it Melissa? I told her I'd close out my tab after I completed another contract. That woman has the patience of an anxious Nyx. Well, tell her I'm good for it. I'll stop by and we can conclude our business cordially. Vea, the new apprentice. Now why in oblivion do you care about Vea? Are you now? And why do you want to do that? Never mind, I don't really care. I was asked to pass along some notes, but I'm not really the messenger type. I suggest you talk to Vea's mentor. Last I heard, she had a job in the Western Ruins. Make sure you don't anger Vea's mentor, or even look at her the wrong way. She's grown surprisingly protective of that young woman, and if she thinks you pose a danger... Besides, I'd hate to see you wind up on the wrong end of one of our writs. You know, the usual buyer's remorse. I see a lot of that in my line of work. Turns out, I had to kill a bad man who did bad things. The writ was legal and above board. Unfortunately, his brother didn't see it that way and was looking for revenge. Oh, you make it sound so obscene. Still, that's pretty much an accurate description. But it's not like I work for the Dark Brotherhood or anything. I don't kill anyone without a sanctioned writ. Keeps the great houses in line. It's a calling. I'd rather not. She's particular about her secrets, and I don't want to get on a bad side. You should keep that in mind too, if you plan to continue on this course. Vea's mentor usually sticks to the rules, but I wouldn't turn my back on her.
Oh, Gilan, look! A Dwemer gear. It's in remarkably good condition.
Yes, wonderful. I'll mark it down.
And here, another. Could these have fallen off the ruins?
Yes, that is peculiar.
Is something the matter, dear? You seem distracted today.
Oh, nothing's the matter. I'm nervous.
In whatever form. If anything attacks us, I'll protect you.
I'm not nervous about an attack, Bravura. It's just... well... there's no good way to say this.
To say what?
Marry me?
Are you serious?
That's... not the response I hoped for.
Gilan, of course I'll marry you. I love you. I just expected something more dramatic.
Well, I planned to propose at the falls, but today we didn't go to the falls. I had to improvise.
And this is why you've been so nervous.
Yes. Wait. Did you just agree to marry me?
Yes, Gilan. 12 times yes. My dear, distracted, adorable archivist, I will marry you.
That's wonderful!
Isn't it?
Oh, Bravura, you won't regret this. You are the stars to my sky.
Did you just come up with that?
Well, no. I've been saving it for the right time.
You... I don't recognize you. You've made a terrible mistake in coming here. Do you feel it yet? The cold rush through your veins, the stiffness in your joints. Only a matter of time now. Only a matter of time. You really haven't figured it out. You're denser than those stone fiends. Master Rethan brought me on to study a Daedric text, a formula for turning living flesh into a substance akin to ebony. Not a perfect match, but close enough. Something like that. But what does it matter? I'll be frozen solid soon, black as midnight. A commodity, nothing more. Ironic. You mean to rob me, I suppose. The scroll's just there. Have a care with it. Wealth always comes at a price. None. Well, none that I've discovered anyway. I speak modestly when I say that if there was a cure, I would have found it already. I guess I could squander my remaining hours searching for a remedy, but I'm an alchemist, a daedrologist. We don't trouble ourselves with things like hope. I leave that nonsense to priests and children, the mentally ill. What? Afflicting all these miners? Oh, spare me your crude moral outrage. They were wastrels, laborers that were too ignorant or too lazy to find work anywhere else. This is as meaningful a contribution as they were likely to make. None. I'd invite you to kill me, but given that I'll be dead soon anyway, it's hardly worth the effort. Why do you even care? Oh, fine. I altered the formula, turning the liquid decoction into a vapor. It proved to be very effective. Unfortunately, it was nearly impossible to contain. Hence, this.
Ah, I'm glad to see you made it back in one piece. So, what have you learned? Anything? What? Well, that sounds ghastly. To think that my own brother would be capable of such a thing. We must move quickly. Did you find any evidence? I'll need something concrete if I'm to convince the Hlalu trade barons to intercede. Well done. I have a final task for you, if you're willing. I must take this to the trade baron, Councillor Riveth. He's staying at the Balmora Inn. Alas, Benna has many contacts in town. If he hears that I'm meeting Riveth, he may try to flee. Travel to the Rethan Manor House and detain Benna. Once I've explained matters to Riveth, he'll send Hlalu constables to collect my brother. After this, I'll ask nothing more of you. You have my word. That the men I worked tirelessly to hire were being used as fodder for some vile experiment? Absolutely not. It's appalling. Why would I have sent you to discover what was going on if I already knew? Yes, I hired him at my brother's insistence. Something about valuable books and scrolls found in the shrine. We planned to sell them off once Gavros translated them. That's what I thought, anyway. Wait. Gavros is still alive? I see. That is unfortunate. But I suppose that's the risk you take when you start brewing foul decoctions and poisoning innocent miners. Not long. He tends to be brusque. Once I've explained the situation, he'll waste no time bringing Benna in for questioning. It will be brief, I assure you. They will punish him severely. He'll definitely lose his share of the estate and the ebony mine. He may even lose his life. In either case, I'll have to bear the weight of our family assets alone.
The last piece of the puzzle. Time to tie up loose ends.
You! How did you... I'll finish this myself.
Quietly now. Is it finished? Well then, this unfortunate little tale comes to an end. I've already dispatched some of my best agents to clean up Rethun Manor. We'll tend to Marla's apartment and the mine next. Well done. Now, what of this mysterious scroll? Excellent. Best hand it over to me. Something so dangerous should not fall into the wrong hands. House Hlalu can keep it safe, or destroy it if we deem it necessary. This will earn you some favor with our house. I'll even double your pay. You sniveling little swit. Do you know how valuable... Never mind. What's done is done. But don't expect any extra coin from me now. You'll have what was promised for killing Marla and not a drake more. This had better buy your silence as well.
I'm surprised to see you back here, but I'm also relieved. Does this mean you have news about my daughter? Is she safe? Is she ready to come home? Vaya? Join that cult of assassins? I was afraid she'd do something rash, but what was she thinking? I don't see the Morag Tong as safe, but at least she's still alive, so I suppose that's something. When are we going to meet with my daughter? She won't meet with me? No, I suppose she's not ready for that quite yet. As for Vaya's brother, that was all the doing of the Redoran Council. I'm not allowed to discuss the details, but he's still alive, if that's what Vaya is worried about. Naryu's back in town? She's as stubborn as Vaya. Very well. No other outsiders, although I can't dismiss the mercenaries that Captain Briven employs. House Redoran is my life, as is Vaya. I'll do everything in my power to see her home safely. As you say, no other outsiders. But there are rules, Outlander. I must do everything within reason to maintain the honor of House Redoran. Here. Your first payment. Soon, however, I'll expect more than just a verbal confirmation of Vaya's safety. When next you see her, tell my daughter that I want to talk to her. Vaya can set the terms, but I expect her to stop running away when things don't go her way. Vaya has always felt shackled by the rules of House Redoran, hobbled by the many duties and obligations it presses upon its subjects. After the situation involving her brother, she decided she wanted nothing more to do with the house, or with me. That may be an oversimplification, but I suppose your statement is accurate. I walk a narrow path between House Counselor and loving father. Unfortunately, the former often supersedes the latter. That's why I want to speak to Vaya again. I have enough...
Well, look at that. Naryu said I'd find you here, and damn it all if she wasn't right. Did I mention how much I hate being a messenger? Makes me wish I had a writ so I could kill something. Anyway, Naryu wants to talk to you. Said you'd know what it was all about. Here. This should explain everything, sort of. It's a map. We change locations every other day for security reasons, just in case it falls into the hands of House Redoran or someone else with an axe to grind with our organization. Never had to use a map before. Amateurs. This one leads to a key to one of our safe houses, and another map. The first map, it depicts a particular town, kind of like this one. Hint, hint. The rest? Well, you'll have to figure that out on your own. Look, I know you're helping Kanclerza Erisa, but if that map falls into House Redarin hands, I'll probably have to kill you. Nothing personal, mind you. We're already having a bit of trouble with the house, and we'd rather not make matters worse. What are you implying? Can't a person do something nice to help out an ally every now and again? Oh, who am I kidding? I hate playing the messenger. Haven't you ever done something you hate because it was the right thing to do? Then you understand what I'm talking about. Being noble, doing the honorable thing. It can be a real pain in the arse, but a favor given becomes a favor returned. Eventually. Well, look at you. You're a practical genius. Look, Nayu seems to trust you, so I suppose I have to trust you too. But that's a powerful secret you've been given. Betray us, and you'll find my blade in your back. Unless Nayu kills you first. The Morag Tong has the authority to accept and carry out writs of execution. We keep the great houses from engaging in all-out war, but they rarely appreciate the work we do on their behalf. House Redarin in particular wants to shut us down. The other houses have used us to take Redarin down a peg or two of late. To be frank, for all their vaunted honor, the house cries foul whenever someone gets the better of them. Our status is tenuous enough without Redarin's constant harassment. As I understand it, the Morag Tong made mistakes in the past, grew too arrogant. We had to lay low for more than a century. Now, we're taking select contracts, working to re-establish our reputation. It's not our fault most of them concern Redarin. What are you implying? Can't a person do something nice? Well, not all of us can...
What is it?
Sorry about all the subterfuge, but we can't be too careful when it comes to security around here. Don't be so eager, my darling. It reveals too much about your ultimate intentions. But yes, Vea would very much like to meet with you. You intrigue her, and your connection to her father could prove beneficial once she knows she can trust you. Redarin records. House officials keep track of everything. Incidents, commendations, births and deaths. Whether important or mundane, they detail it all in their registry. Vea believes the registry contains information about her brother Ulron. Don't sound so offended. You had to know your hands were going to get dirty eventually. You are dealing with assassins and politicians, after all. The local keeper of records, Lord Drano, is away, so security at his townhouse should be light.
I beg your pardon.
Not much longer now.
Still alive, I see. And since you're here, that means you weren't captured and hauled off to a Redoran dungeon. Good for you. Were you able to acquire the registry? And does it contain any information about Thea's brother, Ulron? Ulron was exiled? That can't be right. He's an exemplary officer and a good man. Plus, he's the son of a councillor. Why in oblivion would House Redoran banish one of their brightest stars? I can see that. There has to be more to the story, but I'm not sure how we get it. Still, you proved you could be trusted, and you admirably performed this task. So I suppose I should let you meet with Vea now. There's an abandoned cave along the coast. It's in the swamp and smells like rot, which makes it the perfect place to hide. Vea's supposed to wait inside, but she's bored. I know she's been sneaking out. You'll find her in the cave or just outside. Get to the swamp and find Vea. She's eager for any information about her brother, so she's really going to appreciate getting that registry. Just try not to be too charming when you meet her hero. She has enough distractions as it is. Vea would face too many temptations here in Balmora. Friends, favorite places, familiar sights and sounds, not to mention the proximity to all things House Redoran. Even the most thick-headed house guard would eventually stumble over her. Oh, don't thank me, hero. As long as you're useful and don't betray us, then we're engaged in a mutually beneficial arrangement. Cross us in any way, however, and you'll never see my blade before it plunges into your heart. Well enough. Ulron and Vea used to sneak out to watch me train. I have a way with blades that fascinated them to no end. Eventually, our fondness developed between the three of us. And to think, I never even had a nick sound growing up. It's not like personal relationships are against the rules, though I suppose they are sort of frowned upon. Anyway, my assignments always brought me back to Vvardenfell, so we were able to keep in touch and visit even as they grew older. Anything's possible. But the Ulron I know holds honor above all else. I can't believe he'd do something so dishonorable that the house leaders would demand his exile. We need to find out more about what happened. Vea's young, bored, and stubborn. That makes for a volatile combination. She wants fresh air and freedom. I can't blame her for that. I can blame her for assuming I'm not aware of her little excursions. I thought I trained her better than that. Danger's a relative term, especially when you're dealing with relatives. Vea can make her own decisions. If she wants to risk getting caught by House Redoran, that's on her head, especially since she knows they've been searching that area.
And you're sure it's Vea? House Redoran isn't emptying its coffers so you can chase your own tails out here.
You pay the war claws well, because the war claws are the best there is. We have the kitten scent. It's just a matter of time before my warriors catch her.
Of course, Ferhora. Just make sure she doesn't get out of the swamp. I'll take my soldiers and guard the eastern paths, in case she eludes your warriors again. Ah, the Councillor's lackey. I understand you've made significant progress in your search for Vea. As a matter of fact, so have we. This whole ordeal will be over soon, and then you can be on your way, Outlander. My mercenaries have spotted Vea skulking about the northern portion of the swamp. Between my soldiers and Ferhara's warclaws, the Councillor's daughter will soon be home safe and sound. Vea's brother. It's a sad story. Killed one of his own soldiers to protect an Ashlander of all things. I think they were being too lenient when they simply exiled him. But that's how they treat the privileged few. Ulron always had an unnatural attraction to the Ashlanders and their savage ways. He felt that an Ashlander life was worth more than a Redoran life. The Council didn't agree with his assessment. This will all be over as soon as Ferhara finds Vea. Khajiit mercenaries of the highest order. For members of a lesser race, Ferhara's warriors are surprisingly effective. I employ them to bolster our forces, Between obligations to the Pact and other matters, House Redoran is spread thin of late. As you say, Ferharah's war claws take their contract as seriously as you do, however. Get in their way, and I can't guarantee your safety.
Ferharah assumes the Councilor's minions will not present a problem for the war clause. Yes, Captain?
The Outlanders have been warned, Ferharah. I leave everything else to your discretion.
Stupid war claws. Now I know how a mouse feels. By the three! You really shouldn't sneak up on a person like that. If you're working with those mercenaries, I assure you, you won't take me without a fight. Oh, right. Now you mentioned something about that. Look, I can't wait to hear what you learned, but the swamp is crawling with mercenaries. There's a cave to the northeast. We can talk there. Unfortunately, there's a mob of those beast people between here and the cave. I was going to try and sneak past them, but every time I get too close, I think one of them catches my scent. You're going to tackle that mob of fur and claws? I'm impressed. Meet me at the cave when you're finished. I think we have a lot to talk about. Oh, and try not to get killed. I really want to know what you came all this way to tell me. Meet me in the cave to the north when you finish with the mercenaries.
I can smell the dark elf kitten. Looks like we're the first ones here.
Aid me!
Let's flay this outsider! Up here! Hurry, before more of them show up! What do you think of my luxurious accommodations? It's got dirt and rock, fungus and a poultry fire, all the comforts of home. Anyway, you said you had information about my brother, Oran. What did you find out? No, that can't be right. Oran's honorable and noble. He's a model soldier. What could he have possibly done to warrant being banished? What? My brother has always been interested in the Ashlanders. Even showed them a kindness the rest of the house doesn't approve of. But for him to kill someone, especially one of his own soldiers, something terrible must have happened. I know the tribe that Oran liked to help. brought them supplies and such. He'd go and visit their camp whenever our father wasn't paying attention. Will you go with me to talk to them? Wait, someone's coming.
She can handle herself just fine, hero. Vea, grab your things. It's time to go.
Go? Why? What's going on?
The Warclaws are marching toward this cave along with half the House Redrin soldiers in Balmora. We need to go now.
Damn it! They must have followed us. I'll get my stuff.
Dealing with an arrogant, impatient, overconfident young woman. Now I know how my mother must have felt. We need to move. It won't take those damn cats long to find this place, not with their sense of smell. The back tunnels. Better than heading out the front door and right into the main contingent of Redrin troops. Kanclerza Erisa brought additional soldiers from town. He's intent on getting his daughter, and he may have the numbers to do it. One more thing. The back tunnels wind their way through territory that House Redrin recently acquired. We may run into some resistance, but it shouldn't be as bad as what's waiting outside the front of the cave.
Does the ceiling look unstable to you?
Search everywhere. Captain Priven thinks the Councillor's kitten might try to escape through these tunnels.
Damn! Those cat bastards are harder to shake than a blind date. This looks promising. Let's give it a try. That must be the way out. I just hope there aren't any Redderans up there. Father ruins everything. I'm so close to finding my brother, and he shows up to drag me back home. Well, I'm not going back without a fight. You do that for me. Thanks, I guess. But what can you possibly do against all those soldiers? My father brought the whole damn army with him this time. Clever. Tell my father whatever he wants to hear. That might actually work. Afterward, meet me at the Ashlander camp to the south. My brother would often visit that particular tribe. It's as good a place as any to start. Once I find Ulran and make sure he's all right, I'll meet with my father. But that meeting will be on my terms, not his. And tell him to call off his soldiers, or I might change my mind. That should buy us some time.
Halt! Who goes there?
Stand down. These outlanders work for me. The captain reported that he had seen you in the area. There are also multiple reports that Vea has been spotted. Tell me, have you seen my daughter? I won't sleep well until she's home, safe and sound. I also said that the captain has his own resources. The Warclaws report to Briven, not me. Look, we're all just trying to get my daughter home safely. Now, tell me what Vea's thinking. It was a gamble, I admit. An opportunity I couldn't let slip away. You won't make me feel guilty about trying to find my daughter. So, where and when will Vea meet with me? Very well. We'll do this her way. Vea can be as stubborn as her mother sometimes. But tell my daughter that my patience won't last forever. Next time, I expect Vea to be with you. Or I might just let Captain Briven do this his way. Do as I command, and let them pass.